The colonies burned. Across the outer rim, alarms blared as cities lit up with fire. Smoke climbed into the sky like dark towers, and panic spread faster than the flames. On a distant orbital station, Commander Juran watched helplessly. His hands clenched the rail as he saw entire colonies vanish in seconds. Ships tried to fight back, but alien fleets moved with terrifying speed, striking without warning. Humanity was not ready. Juran's eyes shifted to the holographic display. Red dots alien vessels swarmed every inhabited world. Small human fleets tried to intercept, but they were tiny sparks against a storm. "We can't hold them," muttered Lieutenant Mara, her voice trembling. "They're everywhere." In the chaos, civilians scrambled for evacuation ships. Families ran through smoke-filled streets, carrying whatever they could. Some were lucky, some were not. The sound of explosions echoed like drums of war. The aliens moved with precision, almost as if they knew every weak point in the human colonies. Then something strange appeared on the scanners. A faint signal, pulsing in deep space, far beyond the burning colonies. Juran leaned closer. "What is that?" he whispered. The signal was old, almost forgotten. It pulsed with energy that did not belong to any known human technology. Yet it felt familiar. Suddenly, on the horizon of one dying colony, a shadow appeared. It was massive, larger than any ship Juran had ever seen. Slowly, more shapes joined it, cutting through the smoke like giants rising from the ashes. Everyone on the station froze. For a moment, no one dared speak. They're coming from nowhere," Mara said, her voice barely audible. The alien fleet paused for an instant. It was as if they sensed something too. The shadow moved closer, and Juran felt a strange chill. The ships were enormous, ancient, but alive with energy. Old legends spoke of humanity's Titans war machines built centuries ago, long before anyone alive now had been born. Most believed them myth. But now they were real. Juran's heart raced. Could these be the Titans? Could they save the colonies? He didn't know. All he knew was that humanity's hope, tiny and fragile, rested in whatever those massive ships were. And whatever came next, it would decide the fate of every human alive. The colonies burned. But somewhere in the darkness, a new force was awakening. And for the first time in a long time, the people of humanity dared to hope. The outer colonies were in ruins. Smoke and fire painted the skies red, and every report from the front lines brought more despair. Commander Juran stood on the bridge of the last remaining fleet, his eyes scanning the chaos. The human ships were outnumbered, their weapons barely scratching the alien armor. Every second counted, and every second brought death. "Sir, we're losing ground fast," Lieutenant Mara said, her voice tight with fear. "The colonies. There's nothing left." Juran clenched his fists. "Then we make our last stand here. If humanity falls, it will fall in our hands, not without a fight." The fleet gathered near the edge of the burning system. Pilots checked their weapons, engineers ran frantic calculations, and civilians huddled in escape pods, waiting for a miracle. But miracles were rare in war. The alien armada loomed like a dark storm, ready to sweep away everything. And then came the rumors among the fleet that something old, something powerful, lay hidden on the edge of known space. Legends of the Titans, ancient warships built in humanity's early expansion, long buried and forgotten. Most dismissed it as myth. But Juran remembered the faint signal from the burning colonies, the pulse unlike anything known. "Sir," Mara said quietly, "what if the legends are true?" Juran studied the blinking coordinates on the map. "We have no choice. We'd either fight blindly and die, or we follow this path and find the Titans." A small team of the fleet was assembled. Juran, Mara, and a handful of pilots would venture into enemy territory. Their mission: locate the hidden Titans and bring them back before the alien fleet reached the inner colonies. Every ship that left the fleet carried not just weapons, but the fragile hope of all humanity. The journey was tense. Every jump through space could be a trap. Sensor readings flickered, and alien patrols passed like shadows in the distance. The crew moved silently, each aware that one wrong move could mean instant death. Suddenly, the scouts detected an uncharted planet hidden in a remote system. The energy readings matched the faint pulse Jaron had seen earlier. He swallowed hard. Could this be the resting place of humanity's greatest secret? "Prepare for descent," he ordered. "We might be walking into history. Or a grave." As the small fleet approached the planet, clouds of dust and ice swirled below. Nothing moved, yet a sense of anticipation hung in the air. The silence was heavy, almost alive. And deep inside, Jaron knew, whatever they found here would change the course of humanity forever. The last line of defense had begun its journey. And in the distance, the alien fleet advanced, unaware that the tides of war might soon turn. The hidden planet lay quiet, almost forgotten by time. Its surface was covered in ice and jagged rock, and the crew of Jaron's small fleet could barely make out shapes beneath the frozen layers. Sensors flickered with strange energy readings, old, powerful, and unlike anything they had seen. This must be it," Jaron whispered, his eyes wide as the scanners confirmed massive buried structures. "The Titans." Lieutenant Mara nodded, gripping the console tightly. "They're huge. Bigger than I imagined. But how do we wake them?" The crew descended cautiously. Shuttles pierced the ice, revealing enormous ship hulls frozen in place. Each was taller than a mountain, its surface etched with strange symbols that pulsed faintly with light. The air was thick with anticipation and fear. These were not ordinary warships, they were legends brought to life. Engineers began to work, carefully bypassing ancient locks and activating dormant systems. Sparks flew, alarms blinked, and the air hummed with energy. Suddenly, one of the Titans shuddered. Ice cracked, and a deep rumble echoed across the cavern. The ship's massive hull slowly began to glow, lines of energy spreading across its surface. "Commander, it's waking up," Mara said, voice trembling. Jaron's heart raced. "Keep calm. Don't touch anything else until we understand its systems." But the Titans were unpredictable. With a sudden burst, a pulse of energy shot into the sky, almost knocking the crew off their feet. The ship's systems flared, weapons and engines activating automatically. For a terrifying moment, it seemed the Titan might attack them instead of helping. "Everyone stand back," Jaron shouted. "We are the crew. Control it, or it controls us." The engineers worked frantically, decoding patterns and stabilizing power flows. Slowly, the Titan responded to commands. Massive engines ignited, lifting the ship from the ice. It floated above the surface, glowing like a sleeping giant brought to life from space. The alien fleet continued its destruction, unaware that humanity's lost secret had awakened. Jaron knew this was the turning point. If they could bring even one Titan to the colonies, hope might survive. Mara stared at the ship, awe in her eyes. "It's beautiful." "And terrifying." Jaron nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. "It's humanity's last hope. We cannot fail." As the small fleet prepared to escort the Titan back into space, a new energy signature flickered on the scanners. Another Titan, even larger, lay hidden nearby waiting. The journey to awaken them all had just begun, and the fate of millions hung in the balance. The Titans were awake. And soon, the galaxy would remember humanity. The Titans rose from the hidden planet like giants of legend. Their engines glowed with raw energy and massive weapons hummed, ready for war. Commander Juran led the small fleet, escorting the first Titan toward the burning colonies. Every jump through space brought them closer to the alien armada, and closer to the battle that would decide humanity's fate. The alien fleet spotted them first. Hundreds of ships swarmed toward the Titans, confident that humanity's resistance was weak. But the Titans did not hesitate. Massive energy beams tore through alien hulls, cutting ships in half with terrifying precision. Smaller human vessels flanked the Titans, striking at any alien ship that tried to get close. Juran watched the battle unfold, his heart pounding. "Hold formation," he shouted. "Protect the Titans at all costs." Despite the power of the Titans, the aliens were relentless. They unleashed a secret weapon, a massive energy storm that threatened to tear through both human and Titan forces. Ships were tossed like toys in the storm, explosions lighting up space like fireworks of death. Mara gripped the controls of her fighter, dodging blasts. "We can hold them," she shouted, panic in her voice. Juran's eyes were fixed on the largest Titan. Its hull glowed brighter than ever, ancient engines roaring to life. He knew this was the moment. "Activate the core," he commanded. The Titan responded. Energy spiraled across its massive form, shields flaring, weapons charging to unimaginable power. Alien ships that tried to get close were obliterated instantly. The energy storm from the aliens collided with the Titan's power, but instead of destroying it, the Titan absorbed the force, growing even stronger. The tide of battle turned. Alien fleets that had seemed unstoppable now fell one by one. Juran's fleet pressed forward, striking where the Titans could not reach. For the first time in decades, humanity had the upper hand. Yet in the chaos, Juran saw the alien commander, a monstrous warship far larger than the others, preparing a final attack. If it unleashed its weapon, even the Titans might not survive. "All units, focus fire," Juran yelled. "We end this now." The Titans responded as if alive, moving with intelligence and strategy. They surrounded the enemy flagship, striking in perfect coordination. Beams of energy tore through the alien command ship, and with a final explosion, it disintegrated, leaving the remaining alien fleet scattered and broken. Silence followed. The Titans floated in space, massive and imposing, victorious but calm. Human ships cheered, their hope renewed. Juran exhaled, knowing the battle was won, but the galaxy would never forget the wrath of humanity unleashed. From the edge of the system, sensors detected distant alien movements. The war was not over, but humanity had awakened its greatest power, and nothing would stop it from defending its people. The war was over. The alien fleets lay scattered across space, their massive ships destroyed or retreating. Humanity's colonies, though scarred and burning, had survived. Commander Juran floated above the scene, staring at the Titans, silent giants that had changed everything. Lieutenant Mara checked the sensors. "Sir," "They're calm, almost peaceful," she said, awe in her voice. The Titans had fought with unmatched power, yet now they hovered quietly, as if waiting for something or someone. Juran nodded. "They are more than machines. They are guardians. Our legacy." Across the colonies, survivors began to emerge from the wreckage. Children ran through the streets, eyes wide at the massive Titans in orbit above their homes. Families embraced, tears and laughter mingling as hope returned. Humanity had not only survived, it had risen stronger, but Juran knew the galaxy had noticed. Alien systems beyond the colonies had felt the Titans' power. Humanity was no longer weak. Their enemies would think twice before attacking again. And somewhere, far in the unknown reaches of space, New threats were already stirring. Watching the rise of a species they had underestimated for centuries, Mara turned to Jaren. Do you think more Titans exist? He stared into the stars. I do. And if they do, humanity must find them before anyone else does. The Titans are not just weapons, they are our future. The crew began the long work of restoring the colonies. Engineers, soldiers, and civilians alike worked side by side, rebuilding what had been lost. Every structure repaired, every ship rebuilt, was a statement. Humanity would endure. And the memory of the Titan's wrath would be passed down through generations. A reminder of the strength hidden within them. As the sun rose over the rebuilt colonies, the Titans hovered silently in orbit. Their massive forms reflected in the light, powerful and serene. Jaren felt a strange pride and a sense of responsibility heavier than ever. Humanity had awakened a force that could defend its people, but it was also a force that demanded respect and caution, and far beyond the edge of the system, sensors picked up faint, unknown signals. New civilizations, curious or hostile, had taken notice. Humanity's presence in the galaxy was no longer quiet. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in a long while, Jaren felt ready. Humanity had survived fire and destruction. Humanity had risen. And humanity's Titans would ensure that the galaxy would never forget it. The stars were silent, but the promise of the Titans hung in the sky, watching, waiting, and ready. Humanity had been reborn, awe-inspiring and unstoppable.